So the first card you have in your past is the Eight of Cups with that moon. So obviously this card is about moving away, moving on, all of that kind of thing. And this is what I'm seeing you were doing. If you weren't actually moving, you were thinking about that and moving on from someone or a very difficult situation. And, I think you can put up with a lot. That's what I'm seeing. You can put up with a lot of things. You're not a doormat, but you can put up with a lot. You're a very loving person. You put up with a lot. You kind of take a lot. And that's what was happening at this time. And, you can seem a little bit quiet, a little bit accommodating sometimes as well. And you are accommodating. You're a caring person. But once you've made up your mind, once you come to this kind of final straw, once something happens, it's like, right, that is it. There's no turning back. Once you've made up your mind, it's like, that is it, I'm not going back. So this is about you either moving on from someone, or you were kind of working out in your head how you were going to move on from someone. I think, you might not have actually had it sorted out in your head properly at this time. You might have still been kind of working out how you were doing this, planning on how this was going to happen, or what you're going to say to them, how you're actually going to do all of this logistically. I'm just looking, the man on this card, he's walking away from this wall of cups, and this is a wall of emotions, but there's a gap in this wall. So there was something missing emotionally coming from them to you. So they might have been withholding love from you. They might have been withholding information from you. There was obviously something missing coming from them to you. And I'm seeing that you gave a lot to them. You gave a lot of emotion to them, a lot of love to them, because the water in this card's flowing back toward the cups. So it's flowing from you to them. But for some reason, it wasn't flowing back the other way. I just think that something was missing, and you knew it. It's like they were hiding something, or they weren't doing something, or you weren't quite sure. It was this horrible kind of unsure feeling. That's what I'm getting around this feeling of like, I'm in a maze and I don't know the way out. It's that kind of thing. Those big hedge mazes they have in these great big houses and in Europe, and you're kind of going around this hedge and you can't find a way out. That's how you were feeling. But then once something happened to you, it just clicked in your head and you said, I'm just going to get out. I don't care. Even if I have to cut down this hedge with a chainsaw, I will get out. And that's how you were feeling at this time. You weren't trusting something. That was the main issue. That's what I'm seeing. Because, if you look at this moon, which is highlighted, or it's not anymore, it was, it's kind of moved onto the man now, but it was highlighted. But yes, if you look at this moon, he's not trusting. Look at his face. It's like he's giving the whole card or this whole scene the side eye. So, I shouldn't laugh, but yeah, there was obviously something you weren't trusting, and that was the main thing. So the next card you have in your past is the High Priestess. And so yes, they weren't telling you this information. You weren't quite trusting. You didn't quite know what was going on, but you had to rely on your intuition. That's what you had to do around this person, because maybe they weren't telling you everything. Maybe, again, I'm seeing something was missing here. You didn't know what it was. And you probably tried to ask them. You might have even tried to ask them in a few different ways, several times, to find out, is something wrong? Can you just tell me what's wrong? Why are you kind of giving me these strange vibes? Why am I feeling this from you? What's going on? Why did you not answer me that time? Something's not right here. But, you weren't able to find out what you needed to find out. The High Priestess can be about secrets, but you weren't finding this out. So you had to go on your own intuition. That's what I'm seeing. And I think you knew that even if you had no evidence, something was not right. You knew, like this very intuitive, beautiful High Priestess, that your instincts were enough for you. That feeling of not feeling sure about the situation, that feeling of knowing that something wasn't right, that feeling that something was missing, something was being withheld from you, that was enough for you to know that you had to move on. That's what I'm seeing. The last card you have for your past is the Chariot. So yes, obviously moving on, moving away, all of that kind of thing with the Chariot. The Chariot's moving. And yeah, obviously this wasn't a happy time. It was a horrible time for you. Nobody likes that feeling, that unsure feeling, that lost feeling. But, you know, you were determined. You were determined to move forward. You'd made up your mind, and you did have a lot to sort out. It might have been feeling that you were kind of jumping into a new life without a safety net, jumping into this new life without this person. But, you know, they didn't give you a safety net either. And so you knew deep down that only you had your own best interests. Only you, not them, not anyone else. Now that sounds a bit depressing, that sounds a bit sad, but it isn't. It's actually a positive thing. It doesn't mean, oh, nobody cared for you. It's not like, oh, nobody cares for me, only me. It's not that kind of negative thing. It's actually quite empowering to think that you have this very strong safety net inside of yourself. Whether someone comes, whether they go, whether they stay, whatever they do, whatever they say, you still have that safety net inside of you. It's a very empowering thing, and it means that no matter what happens, you can rely on yourself. You're not putting all of your reliance onto another person, because you shouldn't really do that anyway. You should really be relying on yourself, and if another person comes along and they're a good person and you trust them, then that is the icing on the cake. That adds to what you already have. That's what I'm seeing there. So yeah, this is the kind of mindset that you were kind of getting, and it was actually very empowering. It was actually very good. So yes, you were starting to get your strength together. You were starting to get your determination back, like this serious kind of determined looking man on this card. And he has a star on his head as well. So he's kind of headed towards something better. He knows that. And you didn't quite know where you were going, but where you were going was better than where you were coming from. You knew that. Even if your heart wasn't quite there yet, because your heart was still a bit up and down at this time, your head knew. Your head knew that you had to move on, and that's why he has this star on his head. That's what I'm seeing. It was your head that was driving you forward. So the first card you have for your present is the Hanged Man. So you might still be a little bit tempted at this time to keep on trying to kind of investigate what was going on, because if you can't trust someone, you do have this instinct, and I have the same, that you have to keep on trying to look for information to kind of prove, get evidence to prove that, you know, they did something untrustworthy, or they did this or that or whatever it was. Sometimes you look through old kind of social media posts, you look at who their friends are, you look at who all of that kind of thing. You kind of work out, oh, they were there at that time, what was I doing at that time, and does that kind of quite add up? You kind of might be tempted to do all this kind of investigating. But the thing is, you know, what I'm seeing in this card is whether you do this searching or not, you may or may not find out what the answer is. You might not find out the detailed answer. But, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what that is. The key thing here is you weren't happy, and you felt uneasy, and you felt that you didn't trust them, and you felt that something was missing. That's the main thing. So don't let this kind of temptation to keep on investigate, don't let that holding you back from moving forward, because I'm seeing that that was what was happening for a long time in your past. When you're around this person, you're kind of stuck in this situation with them, and you kept on kind of trying to investigate what was wrong. I have to find out the truth. I have to find out the truth. I have to kind of, not that you were doing this, but people do this quite often. They're like, oh, I have to look through this phone and see if there are any messages. Oh, I have to prove this. I have to do this. And, you know, you might never do this. You might be trapped in this cycle of trying to work it out. And while you're spending all this time trying to work this out, you're not moving forward. And your focus is not on yourself. When you're doing that, your focus is still on them. You don't want your focus on them. You want it on yourself. So don't let all of this kind of investigating stop you from moving forward. Focus on you. Don't focus on them. You know, and if you look at the Hanged Man, obviously he's upside down. So try to reverse. If this is what you're doing, try to reverse the way that you're looking at things. Don't look at things in the way of what have they done, what are they doing, what are they this, what are they that. Look at things, turn up the other way, and look at things in terms of what am I doing, what do I want, where am I going. Because, you felt unhappy. No matter whether you find this information or not, you felt unhappy. And I'm seeing that in every card in your past. So please focus on moving forward. Don't be like the Hanged Man, kind of stuck there. So the next card you have for your present is the Tower. Yes. So yes, I'm sorry to say this, but this is inevitable. This is inevitable that you move on. You need to move on anyway. You have the Tower. This is going to happen anyway, and it's not easy to hear, obviously, when you're still in this kind of stuck mode of, will I or won't I? Will I move forward? Do I need to find more evidence? What am I doing? How am I going to do this logistically? It seems hard, all of that kind of thing. You're kind of still stuck in this, not stuck, but you're still kind of wandering around. You're in that kind of not being sure of things stage. I think, your head is sure that you want to move on, but you're kind of logistically not sure how to do that, and you're kind of still, your heart is still all over the place a little bit in this card. That's what I'm seeing. So, with the Tower, I think the Tower takes this decision away from you, actually. It can't be stopped. You can't reason with the Tower, basically. So I think this deep down. I think that this relationship or this love connection was not built on very strong foundations. Something was missing, and you know that. And you might not know the details. You might never know what all the details are, whether they were seeing someone else, what they were doing. You might never know that. But what's missing, and what has been missing, is trust. And trust is the thing, for me anyway, that should really be underpinning all relationships, and that wasn't there. So inevitably this was going to fall down. The other thing I'm seeing is, outside of this situation, you might be struggling at this time with communication generally with other people. Now, obviously, you have a lot in your head, and obviously your memory is not going to be great, because when you have this emotional load on your head, you don't have the best memory, obviously. But I think this might be just a phase of this happening to you, that you're not kind of communicating very well. I'm seeing people not understanding what you're talking about. Might be in the workplace. You don't quite understand them either. You might go to do something in your workplace, and you're kind of like, is that what they meant? I don't know what they meant. And you go and ask them again, and they tell you something, you're even more confused, that kind of thing. And they don't quite understand you, and people have their wires crossed. I'm also seeing missing calls or missing texts or something like that. And I don't think you're intentionally trying to miss people's calls, but it's this kind of misunderstanding in communication. And I think this is just a phase that's there at the moment, and you're going to get through this. The Tower can represent, the Tower of Babel sometimes, which is like that biblical story where people were forced to speak all sorts of different weird languages. First of all, they all spoke the same language, and then God came down and said, right, you're too vain, you're this and you're that, so I'm going to make you speak all these different languages. And everything just broke down, and no one could understand anyone else. And I'm just thinking, I know this has nothing to do with anything, but the word babbling comes from that, from the Tower of Babel. Babbling, when people babble on and nobody can understand what they're talking about. But yes, I won't talk about that. That's nothing to do with this. This time will pass. This will pass, this miscommunication. It's just a phase that happens sometimes, and it passes, and it will pass, definitely. You'll get through this. The last card you have for your present is the Page of Wands. Yes, what I'm seeing here is someone not wanting to lose, someone who doesn't want to lose. The pages are young, they're probably teenagers, they have a lot to learn, but they're enthusiastic and they play to win. If you've ever seen, a school yard of teenagers playing in a game, or, playing sport or whatever, they want to win. They're like, I have so much energy, I'm putting everything in, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win. And that's what I'm seeing in this card. Now, they have a lot to learn, but they're really enthusiastic when they want to do something. When they don't want to do something, they're the opposite. But when they want to do something, they're really enthusiastic. They play to win. Now, I'm actually seeing that this person in the Eight of Cups might be sensing at this time that you're moving on, or they might know that you are. I'm just seeing that they're sensing some kind of shift happening in you. It's like, you might still be physically there. You might not be, but I'm seeing that you might still be physically there at this time. but your mind is on moving forward. Your mind is on a future without them. It's like you've checked out, you're there, but your mind's not there. That's the feeling I'm getting around this. And your mind is on leaving them behind, and leaving all the pain and unsurety that comes with them. And I see this happening all the time, actually, that once someone senses that the other person's moving on, they suddenly don't want to lose them. They might be behaving badly all the time and all of this, being lazy, not helping, not doing things, they couldn't be bothered. But once they kind of say, oh, they're moving on, oh no, what am I going to do? I want to stop them. No, I don't want to lose them. That's the kind of thing I'm seeing here. So just be careful. I mean, if this resonates and they do try to convince you to stay, just ask yourself, has anything really changed? Has anything changed? And, I think they know that they've made a lot of mistakes. But, you've got to ask yourself, are they truly prepared to fix those mistakes? Are they prepared to come clean and tell you the truth? That's the most important thing. Really tell you the truth and really show you that they mean business, that they mean what they say. If they do really miss you, are they going to change? Now, I don't want to be negative, of course, but because you have the Tower, I think that even if you do go back, if you do listen to them, it probably won't last for long. I think the Tower is inevitable. And also, if things aren't built on trust, what's the point, really? That's what I'm saying. And again, I don't want to be negative, but this is what I'm seeing. You have the Tower. That's all I have to say about that. So the first card you have for your future is the Two of Pentacles. So yeah, obviously ups and downs, your emotions are going to be going up and down, and as you go through this, this is also showing me that you need to leave the past behind. This person might be trying to convince you to come back, but I think you're going to have to leave that all behind. If you look at this card, there's a rocky sea behind this man, and there are two boats and they're about to crash. But the key is, this is behind him. This has happened in your past. You've had this Tower moment. You've had this realization that, you don't want to continue with this rocky sea going up and down. You just don't want that anymore. And, I don't want to tell you what to do, but the road forward isn't going to be easy, of course. But you're going to have ups and downs as you go forward. Sorry about that truck going past or whatever it is. But I think if you do move forward, yes, you're going to have these little ups and downs, and of course nothing's perfect, but you're not going to have any more great big towers unless you go back to this person. That's what I'm seeing. And this man's out of balance, but if you keep on going down this road, you're going to get your balance back again. You don't have your balance now, but you are going to get it back again, and you're going to do this for yourself, by yourself. And the other thing I'm seeing with this card is it might only resonate with a few people, but you might be experiencing back pain or shoulder pain or something like that, or neck, something around your back area, your upper back area, or your arm, your upper arm, something like that, around that area. Now, this can be down to stress. I've had situations where I've been really stressed and my neck has been so aching, my back has been aching. And, stress can give people headaches, backaches, even stomach aches, even skin conditions like eczema, things like that. So this might be due to stress, because you are going through a lot of stress. But obviously, if this is serious, if you feel that this is something that keeps going, obviously see a doctor, really do that. But that's what I'm seeing. So yeah, the next card you have for your future is the Fool. So again, I'm seeing this person wanting you to come back. They don't want to lose you. They really don't want to lose you. And look at this little white dog barking at this man. He's saying, no, don't jump off the cliff, don't go forward. I know you want to leave. You have your bag, you have your little red kind of knapsack or whatever that is on your shoulder. You want to go, you've got your things packed. Don't do it, come back to me. That's what I'm seeing. Don't jump off the cliff. So they might even be telling you that you're a fool. You're a fool to be leaving, and you don't know what you're doing, things like that. You're not a fool. You are not a fool. And I think, moving on is going to be an adventure. Now, adventures have ups and downs. They have things that go wrong. It's not going to be easy, obviously, but feeling unsure by yourself is better than feeling unsure with someone who you're supposed to be trusting. That's what I'm seeing. You want someone who's going to be open with you. This person is not. And also, I'm looking at the sun shining on this man. Now, the rays are going in the direction of him. You could have had, this card could have had the full sun on there, with the rays going in all directions or going backwards or going whatever. They're not, they're going toward him. So the sun is pointing toward the right direction, toward the direction where you want to go. You want to move forward. This is another card telling you to move forward. So the last card you have for your future is the Four of Wands, and this is a beautiful, beautiful card. And this is fantastic. I mean, you've got the Fool and you've got the Four of Wands, which is an amazing combination to have in your future. A very, very, very positive combination. So I always see welcoming in this card, and these two women there are waving their bouquets. They're saying, welcome, welcome, come through the gates, come toward us. We want to welcome you. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing that you could be spending time around people who you feel very welcomed by. You feel very relaxed around these people. These might be close friends. They might be close family members, but not all family. This is like a small group of people. It might even be one person, actually. It might just be one person. I'm seeing you're going to be sitting and you're going to be chatting with whoever this is. And I know this sounds a bit strange, but I'm actually seeing food. I'm actually seeing this person likes to cook. They like food. They might like cooking. They might just like buying food. They just like food. So I'm seeing you kind of sitting down with this person, eating together, maybe drinking coffee or whatever you want to drink. But you're enjoying food. It might be a meal, might be cakes, might be something really nice like that. And you're just going to kind of sit around and just cocoon with this person, be in your little cocoon and be really safe and be really warm and be really happy with this person. This is just so relaxing. This is just so nice. And I'm not seeing big celebrations or anything like that, but this is like a small celebration. And sometimes these things, these moments mean a lot more than the big celebrations. These small things, you remember these really nice, happy, warm times, and that you're going to look back on this time and you're going to feel really happy and warm when you think about it. And feeling welcomed by someone, feeling really at ease, feeling really kind of relaxed with them. This is something you haven't been feeling around this person in the Eight of Cups, and you're feeling it around this person. So this is showing you how you should be feeling around someone who loves you.